Hello and welcome to today's session. My name is Nadia and I'm a customer training manager here at EBSCO. And our session today is going to focus on AI tools available from EBSCO. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. Just to let you know, I am recording the session. If you do have any questions or comments, please feel free to send them through to me using the chat or the Q&A panel in Zoom. And after the session, I'll send you a copy of this slide deck along with a link to the recording. Now, these are the objectives from our session today. It is my hope that by the end, you'll be able to identify how EBSCO is using artificial intelligence within our products, describe EBSCO's generative AI tool, AI Insights, use EBSCO's natural language search, which is also one of our AI tools, and locate documentation about AI via EBSCO Connect. Now, these are the links into the supporting resources. So after the session, you might want to go and take a look through some of these. I would absolutely start with the AI Quick Start Guide. It outlines everything, both AI insights and natural language search, which we're looking at today. And it will also give you the fact sheets as well. So a bit more of the technical background about AI. Now, I also wanted to mention some of the acronyms that you might hear me mention throughout today's session. So when I mention AI, I'll be referring to artificial intelligence, which is the design, implementation, and use of programs, machines, and systems that exhibit human intelligence. I will also mention LLM, which is a large language model. And this is a type of AI model that predicts an inferred statement, and LLMs use AI to enable computers to comprehend and respond to human language. And both of our AI tools utilize LLM. RAG is another acronym that you might hear when referring to EBSCO's AI. This stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. And it's a technique that combines retrieval systems like EBSCO with LLM to improve the quality and relevance of generated text and to reduce hallucinations, which can be inherent in some AI tools. NLS is the acronym for Natural Language Search, which is our AI-powered natural language search mode. And the last little thing is AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, which is a cloud computing platform. And we utilize aspects of AWS for our AI Insight tool. Okay, moving on from there, I'm going to give a brief overview of the two AI tools that we have available. Now, on the left-hand side, we have our AI Insights. So this is a type of generative AI which will provide salient points, about 2 to 5 points of an article. These are grounded in full text. They're not just based on the abstract. And they do require an order with your EBSCO sales representative. They are free, but they do require this order form to set them up initially. Now, if you would like to have AI Insights enabled for your EBSCO resources, you can reach out directly to your sales rep or to me and I can put you in touch. Or if you're wanting to test these out before you go ahead and order, in the chat, and I'll just link it again, there is our open research site. So this is absolutely free of charge. You can use this. It's built on our discovery layer. But we have enabled both AI Insights and natural language, which we'll look at today, and you can test it out before you put your order form through. So for AI Insights, it's a great place to go. The other AI tool we'll cover today is our natural language search. Now, this is a search mode, and for most people, it should actually be on, just not on as default. So I'll show you where you can find this. And there will be a toggle on both the basic and an option for selecting it as a mode from the advanced search screen. So we're going to start off by looking at our natural language search. So as I mentioned, this is a search mode. If you land on the advanced search screen, you'll see a little toggle. If you're in the advanced search screen, if you click your search options tab, you'll see the natural language search mode available as an option. So the user can decide if they want to use this. You can set it as default, but I would just say it is an AI-powered tool. And as we go through the demonstration today, you might decide just to leave it as an option, okay? On that note, it should be available and visible for most people. You should be seeing it in your EBSCO profiles now. If you are not seeing it, if you're an administrator and you have access to EBSCO Experience Manager, you can configure the visibility within EEM. So in the Experience Manager portal, in the Researcher, Search and Search Mode section, there is your natural language search. Now, for me, you can see mine is set as visible, so I'm seeing it on my interface. If you notice that yours says hidden, what you can do is click on Custom, click on Edit. There'll be an option to slide the toggle to visible, click on Publish and Apply, and it will go through to your interface. But you should be seeing it, but for some reason, if you're not, it could be hidden in here. Okay, so natural language search, what is it? How does it work? So it is our natural language query, and it's really designed to allow users to search in their regularly spoken language, including questions or statements. And the underlying search technology leverages things like EBSCO's relevance ranking algorithm, thesaurus mapping, and also authoritative metadata. The natural language search is by design intended to help increase equity in research, ensuring that anyone, regardless of their research background, their experience in research, or what they speak, to find information through our retrieval system. So essentially, it allows the researchers to search using their everyday language. And for people that might be busy, researchers that don't have a lot of time, if they're used to using things like Siri or Alexa, and they're used to speaking what they want, they can do a very similar thing by entering their search term or their topic in a question or statement form. So I've got some examples on my screen here. And if you have clicked that link that I put in the chat, let's go and run a quick search on one of these. So we'll look at, does aspirin help prevent heart attack? But you can choose any of these to run a search on. Okay, so make sure you slide on your natural language and we'll just type in, does aspirin prevent heart attack? And you can include a question mark or not, it's completely up to you. I'm going to leave it off. And this is going to do a natural language search for me. Okay, so 163,000 results, so a significant amount of results there, but you are seeing things like aspirin, cardiovascular, which will relate to heart. We've got heart diseases and so on here as well. Myocardial infarction, which is concept mapping to heart attack. That's its controlled term. So that's just an example of natural language search there. Now, that's the open access platform. I'm just going to jump back to my slide deck and I am going to provide you with another link shortly as well. In this example, I have run a search using a proximity search mode for a topic called Why Don't Men and Women Exercise? And in this example, I have two results back. It's using Boolean operators. It's a proximity search, two results. If I do that same search but use natural language, I get 196,000 results back. So you can see that it is more beneficial in terms of getting more results based on your searches. So I am going to jump out into a slightly different platform here. And I have an activity for you next. So I'm just going to paste another link into the chat. Maybe go to another browser tab for this one because it might get confused if you click the last one. And I'll just pop in the username and password here. Okay, so if you want to follow along with me on this platform, please do. Okay, so from here, I'm going to use that same proximity search. So I'm landing on an advanced search at the moment. If I go to my search options tab, here is the natural language search. and I'm just going to type in, why don't men and women exercise? And I can include that question mark or I can drop it off. It doesn't really matter. It may treat it like a uh, wild card in here, but let's just see what I get back. So, oops. So that's my natural language search on. That's my natural language search off. So two results. So let's flick that back on again. And you can see based on this search, I'm finding records that feature not just men and women. I've got gender differences. I've got physical activity. And here in my abstract, I'm starting to see my keywords here as well. Now, the thing that I really like about natural language search, particularly at us starting out with a topic, is it not only gives me really relevant results and quite a lot of them too. They've got things like barriers now. It will also provide you with a refined search query. So it's taken that statement or that question and it's created a Boolean strategy using a nested query. So the nested query here is men or women. It's my first concept, and exercise or workout or physical activity. And as a user, I could actually copy that and then I could rerun that search as a proximity search and then edit and build on that. So it's a really great way to start your research. So moving on from there, I'm going to jump into an activity for you as well. So if you have got access to the link I provided in the chat, you can use either link. It's just that this one is going to be a bit more specific than the open access one I provided earlier. So I need to find some research on the difference between leadership and management. So what I want you to do is run a proximity search first of all, and just type in difference between leadership and management. Run that search and then use the toggle to toggle it to a natural language search. So I'm going to do it with you, but please do feel free to follow along. So I'm going to go down to new search and just checking my search options. It is set to proximity. We're going to be looking for what is the difference between leadership and management. In fact, we could probably even drop the what is the, to be honest, difference between leadership and management should be fine. And we'll click on search. So this is our Boolean search, and I have around 989 results. Now, I'm not saying that these are not great. They're pretty good. Differences between leadership and management, it's come up in my title. So it should be about, reflecting the content of that article. I can view the abstract from here as well. I'm getting some differences between leadership and management. Okay. What we can also do is flick this little toggle over here to the natural language. So now I'm getting 22,760 results. And my first record here is leadership versus management. How are they different and why? Very different results from the proximity search, right? Still pretty good with proximity, but this is a lot better. I think it's more relevant to what I'm looking for. The other thing I also get here is that show refined query. So again, based on this search, my first concept here is leadership and management, and difference or distinction or comparison. So now I can start to build on that Boolean query as well. So let's jump back to my screen and just to overview here, the differences between the two searches. So proximity search here, 989 versus a natural language with 22,000 results. The next thing we can also do, and I'll just show you this as well, is if I was a researcher and I wasn't sure where to start my search, I've got the Boolean query now. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. So just Control C with my keyboard. I'm going to go to a new search. It will default me to proximity because that's my default search mode. And I'm just going to copy and paste that into my find field. Now you might notice if you're rerunning the searches that the results might be a little bit different. So AI, the natural language AI, it does have some other things that it does in the background. They're the same records, it's just that the result list might look a little bit different. Okay, but my results are still here. Now, what I can also do once I've run that new search, is in my recent activity, I can view and edit that query. So this is coming straight from natural language, but if I go to my tools menu, go into search details, I now have an edit search, and maybe I want to adjust some of those keywords. So leadership and management, and maybe I want to restrict this to Australia. So show me some research articles on the topic of Australia here. So I can continue to build on that, add some additional synonyms, and kind of work from that point forward. So I do find that it's a little bit like having a research assistant that will just take that topic, turn it into a searchable query, and you can then edit that and save it and do whatever you want with it. So now I've got 1,200 results here. The other thing I'll mention while I'm in my search history as well is I can also download and export that search history out of EBSCO in one of these formats as well. Okay, so that's natural language search. If there's any questions, please let me know. It is a search mode that can simply be enabled for you within the Experience Manager platform. The second AI tool that we're going to look at is AI Insights. Oh, I've just had a question. Sorry, my Zoom is not picking up questions, it's not notifying me. I don't have the refine query option. Yes, that's a really good question. I will reach out to you after the session. There is a setting in admin that can prevent that from being displayed. So I will reach out to you and double check that for you. You'll also notice if you're using the free version that I sent, it doesn't have that option either. So there is a content filter that will stop that from displaying. But it's an easy fix. Okay, moving on from there, AI Insights. So this is our other type of AI tool, and this is a type of generative AI. So the purpose of this is to provide 2 to 5 key points of an article that is grounded in the full text. So some reasons that you might use AI Insights is it can be helpful to see what an article is about, not just relying on the abstract, but getting the key points from the full text. And this again can help you understand those main points, help you to evaluate that piece of research. So, is it helpful for you? It might even give you some other keywords or synonyms that you could use to develop your search strategy. And it can also help you to review key information quickly because AI really is about getting things done quickly, right? So, these are some reasons why you might choose to use this. Now, the difference with AI Insights, as I mentioned at the start of the session, is it does require an order to go through. And then once the order is available for eligible records, there'll be a button here to generate that insight. So just some useful information. And again, I will point you to the EBSCO Connect guide. AI Insights are fully accessible and they can be read with a screen reader. They're not available for every single database or interface, so please do check the enabled database list and interfaces. They are available for most of them. AI Insights will also generate in the interface language, regardless of the full text language. So if you have users where English is not a first language and they might have changed the interface to their local language, if they find an AI insight, it will recognize the interface language and show them that insight in their preferred language, regardless of whether that original article is in English, French, Spanish, whatever, that AI insight will generate based on the interface language. AI insights are also tracked in usage reports. You'll find them in countermetrics as an investigation and in the standard usage reports from EBSCO as well. And AI insights are also newly generated with each request. And because they are AI, they are going through a large language model, you might find that they're worded differently the next time you click on it. In terms of how we have developed our AI insights, we have used AWS, Amazon Web Services Novalite model, and we've used something called Bedrock to build our AI insight tool. We also have a 3-step quality assessment process to review the quality of the AI insights, and we also review a rubric to check to make sure that the quality is there. So for more information, please visit the EBSCO Connect guide, but let's have a look at a bit more information about how these work. So one thing I mentioned at the start of the session as well was something called RAG. So our AI insights use this RAG, retrieval augmented generation, to help with hallucinations, to include recent knowledge and up-to-date information. And it works in two main stages. So the first part is retrieval. So when the user asks a question, the system will search a knowledge base for the relevant information. And this step improves the accuracy by pulling in the context beyond the training data. The second part of this is the retrieved information is fed into one of those large language models, and it uses this to generate a response that is more accurate, it's more contextual, and it's more up to date. So this RAG works with the LLM, that large language model. In terms of how our AI insights are generated, basically we have EBSCO licensed full text content that works with a structured prompt. And it's really important to remember this part. Our AI insights are grounded in the full text, the licensed full text. So the publisher gives us permission to do this. Sometimes you might see an error saying there's no AI for this AI generation for this particular record. It could be that the publisher has opted out, right? Um, so there is some kind of caveats around that. The second part of that is that the task is a prompt that's executed by the LLM and is provided only using the full text. So the full text is always a source of truth. It's not looking at the abstract, it's looking at that full text document. And we also have an output response, which is where we have this human in the loop validation, where we've got subject matter experts and clinicians that review the quality of those outputs and they check to make sure that it's working appropriately. A couple of things to remember is that our LLM provider is not allowed to store EBSCO's content or search history. It's not allowed to train with EBSCO's content or search history. And we use a pre-trained LLM to generate quality responses for AI insights, and we evaluate them with that human in the loop validation. All right, the other thing I mentioned is that we have this kind of evaluation three-step process, and we also have a rubric. So what happens with this is that we have our internal subject matter experts, which includes librarians and clinicians for those medical topics, to review samples of AI insights. And as we'll see shortly in the demo, we have an option for users to indicate whether they found the insight useful or not, and they will also check that feedback. And so these evaluations are completed on a rolling basis to help check for any degradation and to identify any improvements. And the rubric that we use is over here. So they will check things like the accuracy of the information and is it relevant to the article that it's referencing? The terminology that's used in the insight, does it match what's in that article? The themes, so are the main themes from the article covered in that insight? The tone, does the information in that insight match the tone of the source document? And the usefulness. So was it useful as supplemental material to the abstract in that user's research process? So this is that rubric that our human in the loop team will review. This is just some highlights from our beta rollout. So interestingly enough, efficiency seekers, 96%, research enthusiasts, 85%, but our power researchers down in the 20%. So for efficiency, really, really good. 85% for research enthusiasts as well. So some positive feedback around use cases for using this is that it helps to um, provide evaluation prior to reading the full text and to help speed up the research process. It has the potential to fill in for missing or poorly written abstracts. It also has an easier reading level to help novice researchers as well. And if you, again, the foreign language option is also good. It will translate in the interface language. And it also provides a teachable moment for information literacy instruction. So these are just some highlights that we had based on feedback from our beta and user study. So now we're going to have a look at AI Insights. So please do follow along with that same platform that we were using before. And what I'll get you to do here is actually rerun. So I want you to rerun your previous natural language search. You may at this point apply the full text filter if you need to, and we're going to select an AI Insight from the result list. So I'm just going to pull up this one here, my natural language search. And if you want to, you can limit to full text. Just remember, AI insights are grounded in full text, so they won't appear on an abstract record. And then you'll see your little generate AI insights here. Here's the abstract. I click the AI insight and it generates here. So this will be grounded in the full text and will provide me with an overview of what that article is about. So I can determine at this point, okay, is that useful for my research? Is it not? Do I want to go ahead and read the full article? If so, the options are there. The other thing I will mention in this session as well is appropriate use of AI insights. So I do sometimes get questions about people saying, well, how do people use them? How will they cite them? So you would always cite the reference record, the source record. And just a reminder for those that might not be familiar, in your tools menu, you've got your cite tool. And here you can generate your end text citation in a number of different styles. Or if you're using EndNotes or Zotero Mendeley, you can export your citation in RIS. So just wanted to mention that as well. Every time a user clicks this, there are metrics that are being logged in the usage reports as well. So I do encourage you to have a little play around, have a look through the list, and when you do see the AI insight, you can click the item and just check to see, okay, here's the abstract. Is this going to be relevant to my topic, the difference between leadership and management? And then again, you can access the PDF if you wanted to explore it further. And again, we do have a disclaimer here saying that it is coming from AI, and using the feedback form goes through to our team who review the quality as well. Okay, so that takes me to the end of the session. Just a couple of things. Citing the source reference is important. Again, if you're wanting to cite it, acknowledge its role as well. So explain how AI insights helped you in your research. This is just an example here. Double check it for accuracy. So AI insights are a type of technology or software, and as such, they're not always perfect. So always compare with the full text to ensure that the information is correct. And lastly, I know we've got a little bit over time. I'm sorry. If there's any questions, please let me know. I'll just check my chat panel because okay, I don't think there's any questions. So lastly, just a reminder, can access the AI Insight Quick Start Guide from EBSCO Connect. There is a link to help in the research tools from your interface as well. That will take you to the Quick Start Guide. And in the Quick Start Guide, you'll actually find the information about using AI summaries, and search modes will talk about the natural language search. So AI summaries will be here and will give you a nice overview of the summary options as well. The other one that I would strongly recommend, of course, is the AI Quick Start Guide, which just has everything in it relating to AI. And I'll just copy that one and pop that into the chat window for you. And yeah, that's all the information there. So for AI Insights enabled databases, eligible interfaces, we have a video and we also have the fact sheet. And same for natural language, we've got the AI fact sheet for natural language, as well as more information about how it works. All right, well, thank you very much for your time, everybody. I have recorded the session and I'll send you a copy of the recording and the slide deck shortly. If you have any questions, do feel free to reach out to me at n.davis@ebsco.com.